Hello, Len Lindsay here, also known as, in this book, Chaplain Levi O'Connor. This book was written the last 24 days before the first person received the final game. I have the prototype over here, so as I open the box of the final game, I might compare how they've improved from the prototype to the final. And I don't do X-Acto knives, I do scissors. So we're going to go with the scissors to see what's in my box. I didn't get everything, but I got most everything. Ooh, good scissors. X-Acto knives I would cut myself, so this is safer. I'll still end up cutting myself, right?
How much did the box weigh when you got it?
The box we weighed at 26.6 pounds. So you metric people, get your Google whatever converter out. So first thing is foam, which is protecting it, which is a good thing. And it's got the cool corners to protect the corners so they don't get crunched. And we're going to see if that was successful. Okay, this, open here, there's another envelope that says don't open. This one you're supposed to open. And what's important about this is two things. One, Awakened Realms wants to thank you for being part of this game with them. They've spent years, literally years. They have 250 people on their teams. I doubt all of them worked on this project, but they had lots of people working on this, and this was their epic that they were going to do because they just loved the idea of this space exploration. So this is thanking everyone for being part of it because they wanted people to send comments as they put pictures and things that as they were developing it. If people commented that something was like not quite right, they would fix it. And so hopefully because of all that feedback, the game is better. And the important note on the back, a lot of people ask questions later is, well, what if I'm missing something, or what if this piece is broken? So this tells you exactly what you're supposed to do if there's an issue with what's in the box. And with this much stuff, you never know if there could be an issue. They did their best to have there not be an issue. So this is the important letter. Maybe in the end I would put this in my ship binder so I don't lose it because it's got the information I'll need. I'm going to put that down here. Now, first maybe we could take stuff out and then we'll look at what it is. Section boxes. This is over here. I'm going to show you the prototype. These are, boy, this box is big. Maybe I should put this on a chair, right? Mm-hmm. I need table space, and it's 26 pounds, and some people can't lift 26 pounds anymore. If that's the case, you have to invite friends to come over to unload your box with you. This is not going to work.
Still too big.
Should I just put it on the floor? Pick up one thing at a time?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We're just emphasizing it's big. Okay, so now I got table space again. So
Okay.
I ordered the special section boxes, which you'll see later. The original prototypes had these kind of containers for a section box where you kept your cards and your dice for each section. You have 4 sections. When I got the prototype, they just had a long cardboard box with slots in it, which was fine. It was not to my liking. So I spent money, I don't remember what I spent, $30 each for nice containers. And these containers have a little drawer I put the dice in, and at the bottom I'd keep my cards. When we look at this, you're going to find out they did the same thing. Cards on the bottom, dice on the top. No, they didn't copy me, but I did this before I saw theirs, so we independently came up with that. Okay, so that'll be one thing we'll look at. I'll put them down here. Next thing later we'll look at will be playmats. There's 4 sections, there'll be 4 playmats. wrapped in plastic. Nice stitching around the side. We'll look at those in a bit. Holy smokes. This is a special bag. Inside of here are the upgraded dice. A lot of people don't like the upgraded dice and like the cheap dice better. I think I will end up in that camp, but we'll see when I look at it. That's down here. Next is something that's totally irrelevant to the game. You don't need this to play the game, but they're cute. They're little animals that hold a dice, and they're called P.E.T.s. And they, of course, P.E.T. stands for something. What did it stand for? Did they tell? We'll have to look it up. But in the back, there's 4 sections, so you get 4 of them. So I think there's something like, there's like a monkey and a kangaroo, or a hawk or an eagle, and a llama. So those are your pets. They'll carry a dice on their back around the game with you. I've never seen a game that did that before. Holy smokes. Some of these things are heavy, and when you put them all in one box. Oh, this I got for if I have friends come over. These are those little miniatures. Like Doctor Who has these little miniatures, guys. Some people like these little miniatures, and they move them around the table and stuff. I don't do that. But if I have friends come over who like miniatures, I got them. And this box is full of them. And on the back of the box, it tells you the different miniatures that you're going to get inside. It even gives them names, so if you actually wanted to call it by the correct name, you could, because the name is there. Put that down. This is going to be heavy. Okay, 2 people have to carry this box. Literally.
Yes.
We should do the, like, put it on a hard surface and go like that, just so people know there's something in this box. This is the core game, and it costs $99. I can't believe this much stuff with a free app to go with it. $99. They have a picture on the back of all the stuff you get. Like most of these things I'm showing that I also got are extras. This is like, the game itself is fantastic. All you need is this box. And right now we're gonna pause and look at Amir. Amir, who's in my book of stories, and we'll be right back to tell you about him. Okay, so now Amir, he's in this book when we did the countdown. I'm going in the order that the characters appeared. So when you get the game, you're going to get 90 crew members, and if you're going to play for 100 hours with them, you should get to know them. There's a little piece on the cards, we'll see when we get to the cards, that tell you a little history about each person. I've got Amir in the book. He's the first one. He was in the science section in the, what's it called? The motto. Is that the motto of the science section is searching for questions. And yes, that's correct. They're not searching for answers. They're searching for the questions because you need the right questions. So Levi, the chaplain, went to go and talk to Amir because he thought that was cool. As a chaplain, I'm searching for questions and trying to find answers too. So there's the interaction with them. And now let's see what's in the box. The plastic has been teleported off. Ooh. Don't you just like it when there's like something keeping the top on as you open it? It doesn't just slide off. So this box, I should have the, you want to compare boxes? We can start this off right. Look at the size difference of the boxes. A little bit taller, a little bit wider. You can see if you see any difference in the artwork or how they did it. It looks like the title on the prototype was across the art. It was hard to read right here. So they put the title so you can actually read it well. They took the ISS Vanguard has a Latin motto for the whole ship where you could be cool with these Latin phrases. So I won't pronounce it right. Ex Fortitudine Veritas. And I put that on my website so you would know what that means at the top of every page. So let me look at the top of a page of my website and we'll find it. So translated from Latin to English, it means from spiritual endurance comes truth. So that's the motto
Wow.
of ISS Vanguard. A Vanguard is going out. This book tells, I looked up stuff and I put it in the book too. Ooh, look at that. Okay, so in here it talks about being a vanguard. Here, being a vanguard, it's a group of people leading the way in new developments or ideas. So this is definitely leading the way. ISS Vanguard's shooting off into space with an alien drive, which we magically discovered in Siberia. Don't ask me how that happened, but that did happen. And this is all real. We really have a ship out there. So this is going to go back here. You've seen the prototype box. Now, inside this box, we'll see what we got. We'll save some things. Okay, first, we're going to have what are called standees. You put a little plastic container holder under them, you slip them in, and you move them around. That's different than the miniatures, our little guys that are actually molded. We're going to have lots of counters and tokens and things. We're going to go through them. Some of them they didn't have in the prototype, like this one action left. That sounds like this is totally silly. You get 2 actions every turn. Why do you need this? Because I would forget that I do the first action or not. And now I can flip it over when I did my action. So that's much better. Turn available, same thing. You can't remember if you're just playing this by yourself with four crew members. You have to remember which ones already had their turn. Now you've got something that you flip over that says they've taken their turn. We have some success tokens that you're going to get when you do things good. We're going to have lead tokens that you're going to have in a bag, and I'm going to show you how to make them much, much, much better. And that's what happens when you make when you find leads, they lead to making discoveries, which we'll get to. Ooh, some more things. Now we got command. Ooh, this is coming out already. Oh, they come out really nice. Love it. You're going to have command tokens and energy tokens and ship tokens. So these are not tokens, standees. These are the standees and equipment standees. All these things we're going to look at in a bit, but I'm going to figure out, I need the book here. How about, I'll set them here. The Rulebook, Paul Grogan did the Rulebook. In the past, Awakened Realms did their own. They got Paul to help them with this. It's 48 pages, full color, shiny pages. It's what's interesting is it looks like I don't want to play a game that has 48 pages of rules, but half of it is explaining how to move 2 people in the game where it explains how you can do all the different things. Some of the pages have nothing on it, like this one. The first few pages are telling you who made the game, which is nice to know, which I should actually get to at some point. The back is an index to everything that's in the rule book, which is handy that you can just look on the back rather than try to open it to find the contents page. And then in the back of the rule book, we're going to have interesting things like these explain all the icons. There's little icons you're going to keep seeing, and you're going to want to say, like, what does this icon mean? What does this icon mean? A flag icon means you've finished exploring that one section. You don't have to worry about it. You finished that one. So it tells you that. You don't have to worry about that one. It has a glossary of terms. Sometimes you say, like, here's an event, an exertion. If it talks about you can do exertion, you can look back here and it tells you what that means. It has pictures of those little standees with their names. Just like those little miniatures came on the back of the box with all their names. So you've got that. And then we're back into the book. So at the very beginning, it's got like who was involved, the little story about how this happened with the ship. Hopefully they're going to give us the cool comic book. The game came with a comic book. It's got a list of all the components. There's a couple issues with the components. I'll talk about them when we find them applicable. It tells you how to set everything up on your table, which takes this is going to cover the whole table when we do it. So it's all the setup, and it's explained extremely well. Then it goes through a tutorial saying, okay, if you're going to do a tutorial, here's your first guy, Amir. Remember Amir? He's going to be on our team, and here's what he's going to do. And it explains exactly what he does. So after you've done a couple turns, you've actually had them explain how each turn went, so it doesn't seem overwhelming anymore after that. Manual is great. I should look at the back just for the teams. On the back of this book, here's the veteran cards from personnel files, in case some of you have never seen them, because we've never had them publicly shown. So there you go. There's some that are in this book. This is Marson. He is the head honcho, Waking Realms. He loves this game. He just like talked about this game for the whole 2 years that we were like all the time how this was a cool game. This is Christoph, and he's a storyteller. He has actually written science fiction books, and he's won awards. They're in Poland, so if you know Polish, you could check out some of his books. He was like the head guy for the story. The story in this is going to be fantastic. It's a branching story where you don't just follow along a path. It will ask you a question. Do you want to blow up the cannon, or do you want to disable the cannon? And then if you blow it up, this happens. If you disable it, this happens. Now you're off into two different worlds. In this world, you're going to say, okay, you disabled it. Now you found these 5 switches. Do you want to push one of these buttons, or don't you want to push one of these buttons? So the whole story is like a tree at the end. So I'm sure this was interesting for him. When he wrote a book, he wrote a book. Now he wrote an interactive story where someone else is choosing what's going. It's like a make your own adventure. This is me. See, it's me. I said it's Levi O'Connor, but it's really me. So now you know Christoph Marson, head guys in this game. Manual, really nice. Wait a minute. I can't do this right. Okay, next up. Ooh, okay. These are pages for a 3-ring binder. I don't think I've ever had another game that came with a 3-ring binder. So we're going to go through that when I open them, which is not now. Another piece of foam, because there's spiral binding here so that it doesn't scratch other things. I think that's a good sign that they're watching out for us. Oh, look at the box down here. There was something I didn't take out. And look at the foam. It was fitting perfect. Personnel files. I told you on the back of this book, these are the characters that come in here. If you didn't buy personnel files, you're not going to get these character images and cards, because these are the veteran cards. After you've been on a couple missions, you become really super cool and you learn so much stuff, you become a veteran, and then that's what this is for. You will get your own personal quest. If you actually accomplish your personal quest, you get like bonuses. So I'm going to put that down here. We'll talk about that later. Interesting. Okay. More to go. This is called the Planetopedia. We're going to compare. Final Planetopedia. And you're saying, what is a Planetopedia? And am I pronouncing it right? I don't know. So, prototype, final. Looks like they went with readability, doesn't it? White on light blue versus white on dark blue. This is definitely more readable. The image on the front is ISS. It says ISS Vanguard, but this is not ISS Vanguard. This is a Space Ranger. Oh no, wait, this is a Dragonfly. So on the prototype, they just put one of the landers here. You have 6 landers, so this is one of them. On the real game, they put the correct name. This is the Dragonfly. When you start the game, I'm surprised they didn't do it. You start with the Space Ranger, so this will not be the lander that you start the game with. But let's look and see how they compare. So the final, and I'm going to try not to do a lot of spoilers, so I'm not going to go through everything to show you hidden stuff. But this is not a spoiler because it's part of the tutorial, and the tutorial is for you to learn, so you might as well look at it. What they did in the prototype, they didn't do in the final. They put nice plastic because they send a prototype to reviewers. They have to be impressed. So they had pressed them with the plastic. So now you can see how they changed. It's called the Eye of the Void. Eye of the Void. This is where you take care of everything on the planet. Do I have them facing different directions? How did that happen? Planetopedia.
It was fine.
Is this right?
Mm-hmm.
There. It's weird reading upside down. Okay, so you can see the cards. If it looks like they changed something a little bit, it means during play testing, someone discovered that something wasn't clear, so they changed it. So we can start comparing. One thing that they changed, which is really good, on the prototype, there was this little symbol, which you will get to know because you're going to see it all the time. This little like bird arrow, like a sparrow flying, that symbol means special action. You can, when you have two, you get to do two actions during your turn. One of them can be a special action, not two, one. So if it's that symbol, you can do that once on your turn. But usually it's rolling dice, but not always. So they added a special symbol that says, look at your dice check. We're going to be doing dice. You need to look at the dice check. That's the little symbol. It's supposed to look like the. How do you draw a picture of someone rolling dice? I think they did a good job. So that shows like, yeah, you're going to be rolling dice. Use the dice check. So now you see the comparison of the Planetopedia, which is the game board, which is where you're going to be moving. We'll talk about that more in a bit. We'll put that down here to talk about more. Ooh, this is the one. Couple of reviewers opened it. It says, do not open until instructed. I'm not going to open it. I'm actually going to make sure it does not get opened. This is supposed to be, after you've gone through the campaign for a while, all of a sudden they're going to give you this, and it's going to change things around, give you stuff. You can see there's actual real stuff in here. It's not just like 5 different cards. So this is going to be fun. I don't want to know what's in it, and I don't think you want to know what's in it either. So it's down there. Wait, where am I putting things in the wrong place? We'll piece it together. Okay, this, we got one of those in the prototype, and I miss it. The prototype they had, well, they spiral bound it and put plastic on the front. It's really nice. I was thinking I might take this and spiral bind it at Staples, but I don't know. So this is the systems you're going to go through playing the game. So as you're playing the game, this is not much spoilers here because the first one you're going to play anyhow with the tutorial. I think what people have said is you should fold the pages over so you don't see the next one. And we have a spiral bound. It's much easier. So I'm sorry that they didn't keep that. I'm sure it was a cost thing because these are really thin. So you say like, here's the Eye of the Void, here's the Eye of the Void. You can see like this is what they started with. This is how they ended it in the final game, and we can see how they changed things around. It's looking like they got a red circle around the 6 there, because this is different. So it's referring to a log. You can jump to a log, and at the inside here and here, there's a map. It's kind of showing you like where you are in the universe right now. You're here, and as you go through, your location is going to change where you are in the universe. So right now we're here, and it starts with an unidentified signal. So in the prototype, it looked like this, which was weird. And on the final, they just had a little bar across the bottom saying that this is an unidentified signal. And if you look at that signal, it's a mess. So because they can't figure out what it is. It's nicer, I think, to have more artwork here than here. You can see that they went with a little bit more reddish than here. It's more white with purple. Okay, we'll talk about that later. This goes here. Goes here. Next this is all coming from inside the 3-ring binder. This is the comic. And this is the prototype comic. I'm thinking when they made this comic, they just made tons of it, and it's probably exactly identical. So we'll just look. Yeah, it's the prologue. This is the story behind the game. when you go off into space, some people want a story, and I think it's good to have the story. Like, you don't just start the game out there, you get there. So first they say, ooh, and of course they're making up facts in this because that's what this is. They say, ooh, we found in our DNA, someone looked, and they found out in our DNA we have something coded in everyone's DNA with the location of someplace that maybe we're supposed to go to. And so they were going to try to do that. Then they found an alien ship in Siberia, which gave them like an engine, like Star Trek has their warp drives, so they have a name for it, and they have their engine, and then they build this spaceship, and they're off on their adventure to the location that's in our DNA. That's the focal point of the game. So here's the comic, same one in the prototype. Getting down to the end of the binder. Ooh. I'll show you this in a better order. What you want to see first is this. This is the logbook. And the logbook has got entries. A lot of the entries are like here. You probably don't want to look too close for spoilers, but it's dialogue. Like, this person says this person says this. They're trying to figure out something, and then they'll say static, which means their communication is just cut out. They do that in Star Trek all the time. That way they're like they don't have a continuity between their other team. They are like cut off from communication. So this is all, remember I told you about the tree? This is it. This is amazing. This is the logbook. And it's bound like a book. And make sure you look at the back. People who use the app don't have to use the logbook, but the back is like a map of all the systems, and it's got lines. You could actually write things as you go to these different planets. If you want to put a quick note to yourself, you might want to have your own notebook because it's going to be exciting. Now, you can see what happens to a logbook after you play the game. This is how it came stapled together because it was a prototype. It's the same thing, except the yellow that's highlighted, they highlighted it. When I got it, yellow was highlighted. So they were highlighting what was important, probably for the people who were writing the reviews and doing review videos, so that they would have certain things that make sure it caught their eye. But as you see, I put notes, I scribbled, I tried to remember what I was doing. Here's grr. So sometimes things don't happen right. So you'll have charts on what happens when you're landing. So which is better? The final, much better. They did a good job. That's the logbook. Next was a really similar one. This one is stapled. Operations book, there are a couple operations. It's like a mission where you go down to the planet, but you don't have to have it be part of the 100-hour campaign. This is just two things in here. It's the same thing. It's got an operation title and some log entries. So don't read them if you don't like spoilers, because you're not going to probably do these until a little while, and you probably don't want to start with these. Start with the campaign. So that's there. Next are the ships. Remember I told you get 6 different ships. Spoiler, people that don't skip ahead a little bit. The ships, there's on both sides, have names, but they have different capacities and capabilities. Some will carry more supplies, but that means they're heavier, so they're not as maneuverable. So they have different settings for the armor. How much armor you have? Dragonfly, none. Space Ranger, 2. This is your Beast, 5. Okay, so then when you get down to how much sensors do I have? I have a lot of sensors on the Dragonfly, and not so much here, and not so much there. How's my ability to maneuver around? Really, really good here. So here, terrible there. So next it'll say how many rolls. This is how many times you have to roll a danger die to see if you landed successfully, and it tells you where you start. Now, which danger dice, when you roll it, you could lose your supplies. Your crew could get injured because you just smashed into something while you're trying to land. So danger dice are dangerous. So you want to roll them as little as possible. So with the Dragonfly, you have no armor, but you only have to roll it twice. This thing is a beast, but you got to roll a danger dice a lot. And each time you roll the danger dice, it will ask you things like, if your armor is 3 or more, you can kind of skip this damage. So then we say like, yeah, my armor is 0, I can't skip this damage. This person, yeah, I skipped that damage. So the different ships are here with the different capacities and things. They also show you coming back how many discoveries you can bring back with you. This one I only can bring back 4. These I can bring back 5 and 5. How many mods can I put? You can put mods on your ships to make it better. You can add armor. Like you could add armor to this so that it's a little bit more protected. So this has got 2. This has got 2. It's got 3. And then the amount of supplies that you start with will vary. You put it's a little bit highlighted. The prototype, I'll show you the comparison for Space Ranger. Okay, now, on the final game, they marked what you're supposed to start with. This one, they just had a standard list on all of them. I like it because you can compare real quick what your landers are with stuff here, stuff here, stuff here, and now also with the supplies. I'm going to start with 6 supplies. Supplies are obviously important when you're on the planet. You run out of supplies, you better be ready to leave. Okay, so that is how they changed from here, from the prototype to the final. It's fantastically better. Hopefully everything that's changed from the prototype to the final will be fantastically better, but we'll see. So they're over here. Next, I'm going to open these in a bit. These are the pages that are going to go into the ship binder, the plastic ones. Remember we had, didn't we already have the pages? Yeah. These are the paper pages. They're really like thick, kind of thin cardboard. These are the plastic ones. They're going to intermingle each other throughout the binder, which you have not seen yet, but you're going to see it now because it's available. They put cardboard to protect the rings. And talking about rings, this is fun. They're going to love that I put this there. So Awakened Realms, you can like turn the volume off right now and maybe skip ahead. In the prototype and the final. The final, they changed the graphic. This is more probably at the very beginning 2 years ago. They had one nice graphic. They put it on both. So I think it's nice. The shipbook has a different graphic on it. And when you look at the back, this is the ISS Vanguard. This is something, I won't spoil it for you, that you're going to find. Okay, so what's interesting, and Awakened Realms is not listening anymore. When you open this, you have your binder here where all the pages go, and you have a list of how the pages are going to be in order. It's kind of like table of contents visually. For all you visual people, you can say down, you know, the barracks are going to come about that far in. When you get to the end, you're finally going to get to the med bay. So you have an idea there. This is the prototype, and this is part of the binder. The benefit of a prototype is you learn from the prototype so your final is better. They learned that there's so much stuff in this binder that it pulled this off. I'm going to guess this looks like it's got a pretty heavy-duty connection, the ring to the binder. So they learned from that. So what I had to do when I had it, I didn't really have a 3-ring binder. it was broke. I ended up, and you can do this yourself too. Just get any binder that you have, print, make a photocopy of the page, and then put all your pages in. So these are all from the prototype. And I didn't have a working binder, so this became my working binder. It's a mess. I should have put something in the back, but that's the way it goes. Okay, that's done. Take good care of your binder. Don't break those rings. Next, we're going to compare again. Crew boards. Where's my crew boards? Ooh, here. I love, so far, everything's been, that's changed has been for the better. So here's the prototype. So let's do this. Ooh. This is prototype final. On the back, it's telling you which section. There's 4 sections, so even on the back it tells you what section it is. That's good. Across the top it tells you what section you're in. On mine here, it's got the section's name here. I like it better at the top. Now what they changed, and I think it is way better, you used to, in the prototype, put your dice that you were using here, and then as you used your dice, you only could use it once until you use supplies to refresh it back again. You were supposed to just put your dice up at the top because you used them already. Well, that wasn't working because it was like off your board. What they did now is they put the dice here, and I like this. This is gorgeous. So they did a better graphics job. As I'm using the dice, when I'm done using the dice, I'm going to put it here. This is a double layer board, and there's actually an indentation here. So the dice stay here. Before they were just on my table. This is much better. Now you can compare to see if the allocation of dice has changed, and it has on this one. So during playtesting, they determined things. If there's no symbols in the colors, I can take up to 2 blue dice, up to 3 red dice, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green dice in the prototype. The final game, the same 2, the same, now they only will let you have 2 at the beginning, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and only 4 green. Now, when you hit the symbols, if you have a character, a crew member who's been ranked up, they will have a symbol on their sleeve, which we will see shortly. So a rank 2 person can put dice on those spots. A rank 2 can put dice here and here. So they've kept that. This, I think, is a little bit more clear. And your best guys can put dice in all the slots, which are here. So it's interesting. They changed even the starting allocation a bit. Play testing, they did so much play testing. It's got to be an amazing game because they fixed so many things. So we've got all of these. And on these, in addition to that, you have a spot right here. It's also indented where you're going to put your crew card. And here's another indented spot. Your charges. Charges are little cubes that are going to tell you each time you use your special skill of your character, you have to pay 1 cube. When you're out of cubes, you can't use their skills anymore. And then at the very bottom, it tells you how many section cards you can use, just like on the dice. The higher ranking your person, the more section cards you have. It also tells you to put your injury cards across the bottom as you get injured. Prototype, you put your injury cards on the side. I like it better on the bottom. So I think that's a big improvement. On here, they say on your sides, you should put the deck of your section cards here, the ones that you're going to be drawing from. And when you use a section card, put it here. This is your discard pile here. They didn't really have anything indicated with the prototype. So that's a big improvement too. So the real final prototype. Okay. Ooh, one more. Don't want to lose it. Might as well just show you so you can see. Science is purple. Security is blue. Recon's rose. It says rose recon. I like it. Engineering yellow. Same colors. So when I bought my special boxes, I used those colors. If you got Sundrop for your characters, they will be colored those colors. And there was something that was going to be interesting. Oh, the pictures on them. Do I have pictures? Yeah. Here. You can do this too. You can print off these things and stick them on things. So they have white background and they have black background. Science has the circles. Engineering is this little like hexagon thing. And security's got 3 blocks in it. And recon, upside down, let's fix it. From the jetpack. One of the characters has a jetpack on. That's cool to fly around. So anyone who likes minis, you can just fly around. Okay. Now, finally, all that came from the top. Ooh, let's take a break. I gotta drink some coffee. So we're gonna switch. Amir's done. We're gonna talk about Riku next. First in line, I'll tell you about that. Okay, so Riku is first in line. If he's in security, their motto is first in line. And you think, what a bunch of selfish people. They're always, he had to explain. Levi O'Connor went to talk to him. He's saying, like, he talked to Amir. He had all the questions. He's looking for questions. So I said, like, chaplains want to do that too. And now he's went to talk to Riku about what's this with being first in line all the time. He's a chaplain. He wants to know about this. And Riku said, well, because if it's dangerous, do you want to be in front of me or do you want me in front of you? And so Levi would say, like, okay, I'll let you be first. And so first in line means you're protecting the people behind you. Mm-hmm. So that's a good thing when you're in there. And then Levi, the chaplain said, maybe I should be in that section because I like being, protecting my people too. Okay, let's finish this box for part one. We'll go through this and then we'll do the rest later. Now there's plastic covers, which has got their ISS Vanguard stamped on it. They all these little things, they are really good at Wicked Moms with the fine touches, the small details. Like, they didn't have to do that, but they did. And then inside here are your crew members that you're going to run around the board with. We'll talk about them later. And this is the ISS Vanguard. They give you a little mini model of the ISS Vanguard. It's got a hole in it. You put a little stand in it, and then when you land, that stays in space. It's used for first player marker. Who's going to be first next turn? Put this by them. Remind them that they get to go first. Okay, so that's that. Let's just see what's in the rest of the box. These, if you remember, I showed you and talked about the section cards and the dice in the drawer. Mm-hmm. Like that. Okay. Now, what they did, I think, is really great. Seeing the various prototypes, I was anticipating that they wouldn't be good. This is great. This is a piece of plastic, and you're thinking, like, well, this is a piece of plastic, but it's perfect. Your cards go here, and your dice go here, and it's got the color of your section and the little logo. Is that logo symbol for the section? It's that little hexagon for engineering. And this cover stays on. Everything's going to stay there. It's perfect. So they've got 4 of those. I'm going to run out of space. So much stuff. I'm running out of space and I'm only on this first box. Inside 2 of them, and people have misunderstood that when you're taking things apart, that they think these cards go with the blue section, which is security. Not true. They just needed a place to put the cards when they're shipping them to you. So when we go through and open these cards later, I'll start lining them up here. Don't think that these cards go with these 2 sections and the other 2 sections don't get any cards, because that's not true. So here we go. We got the same thing. We got their logo for the science, which is purple. We've got the logo with the squares for security. Put them down. And then let's finish going through the cards. Inside here will be different things. A lot of people will look and say, like, oh, it's this kind of a card in this pack, or oh, it's this kind of a card. But that's not true. There's lots of different cards in here. They just happen to be what's on the front and the back. So don't worry about identifying by what you see. You open it and find out what you get. Now, let's go through this. This is your bag to put your leads in. Put your hand in. Remember those little leads I told you, the little cards? You're going to punch them out and put them in. I'm going to tell you stories about them, how you can make it way better yourself. These are rings on your little minis. You can put the ring on the bottom so that the color is clearer for you. Their rose color is a little bit not rose, but the ring is rose. So if you were trying to match this up, if you're trying to match the color with your box, this matches, that's a little bit off. So you can put this ring on the bottom. Some people ordered it without getting the sun drop, and theirs are all gray. And in that case, you definitely want to use these to know which character is going with which section. So you got those. You're going to have a bunch of things that are like plastic holders where your standees are going to go in. So here's some, and we won't open them now. These are, remember the chargers I talked about when your crew board, you have to put some charges down. You use a charge to use your special skill. These also are used as markers on the game board, which we will get to later. So they've got like multiple functions, but this is, it's nice. Some games, Terraforming Mars, had so many cubes. This is what we have in this game. This game has cards and dice, but not so much cubes. You have a cute little bag, success and energy and command for tokens. I haven't played the final game. In the prototype, I didn't have to worry about things like that. So we'll have to see how they use that in the final game. Now here are dice. Those are your different dice. And if do I want to compare dice now or later? I'll do it really fast because I just want to finish going through. The yellow dice look the same. The black danger dice. These were black danger dice, have become orange danger dice. So, and then there's here's a D10 dice and a D10 dice. So we got them. So I like the change that they made. The danger dice, if it's going to be dangerous, orange seems more dangerous than a black. So that's nice. Put that off to the side. What are we going through? Oh, the regular dice. Green, blue, and red. Just so that you know, people were opening it and saying like, oh, the blue dice go with security. No, has nothing to do with that. It's just blue dice, and don't match it up with the section. You're going to match it up with the blue dice column on your board. So the blue dice will go here, the green dice will go here, the red dice will go here. These are the standard. They're really super clear to see what's on them. Later I'll show you the deluxe dice, which I'm going to be hesitant to try to see. But for example, it looks like the blue is a little bit softer. Maybe they soften the colors. The green is pretty similar. And, ooh, what's this called? Candy red. And this is a little bit towards the maroon side of red. The symbols, there's a couple that changed a little bit, which is a vast improvement because it was confusing in the prototype and they fixed it. So we'll talk about those later. Remember, all this stuff I'm showing you here, $99 for this whole thing. I can't believe that they could do that. Now I have two whole containers, a black container and a white container. One's for planetary exploration stuff. One's for stuff that you use on your ship. So on the top is a B and an A. A and then B. So A is the light colored one for the daytime. Remember that. B is nighttime. Don't remember that. It's got nothing to do with the game. Okay, so inside here, we're going to have way more cards. They have divider cards that when you're putting cards in here for playing the game, there's a divider that sticks up a little bit taller so you can see which section of cards, if you're looking for a specific kind of a card like situation card, there'll be one that says situation so you can find it faster. So that's here. This side up, this is the back of the tutorial deck. This is the tutorial deck. We will cover all these later. These were section cards. Remember, they go across all the sections, not just the two they came with. And then each one of these is going to be, not necessarily, this one looks like this is going to be all crew members. So those will be all the crew members in, not all of them in the game, but that whole pack will be crew members because there's more crew members. Like in the back of this pack is more crew members, but in the front of this pack are cards that you will use in the scanner, which we will get, don't worry. Point of interest cards, there are point of interest cards. There's so many point of interest cards. It's ridiculous. When you're making all these branches and stuff, things that happen, all these points of interest cards are going to be placed on your board. And it's a prototype. I only got to play like 3 or 4 planets, and it was totally amazing. Now you're going to have more than 20 to go on. So now you have these little cards. So you've got the divider cards are a little bit taller. These are standard. These are bigger. We're going to get into equipment cards, which are square. But these little cards are going to have things like injury cards, objective cards, rank up cards, all kinds of different cards. So looking at the front and the back means nothing. It's just what happens to be on the front and the back. There's going to be a mix of cards in there. So they all are in the white container, which is called A. We'll open these in a bit, but not right now. We're going to finish looking at what's in this box. This is amazing. Wait, these came in the box. These came in those little... That's why they had so many cards. They had to put them in those section boxes. And even this is heavy. If they sold this, I wonder if we could calculate how much it would cost per pound. Okay, now the B box is the dark color box. So it kind of helps you know which box to look at. This one has a planetary scanner. And I can compare planetary scanners real quick. The prototype planetary scanner and the final, they made it a little bit wider, but the same concept. It's got a little notch. So if we use my card from the prototype, when you put the card in, it tells you you have to pay this much energy if you want to see something about that planet. It's like you scan Star Trek. Let's scan the planet. And they say, can't scan the planet. There's too much interfering with our scanners. But you pay that money, and then you slide the card up, and you don't go to the next one. Then you read what happens that you found in the scanner. This one says that there's no danger. You say, yay, no danger. Then you pay $1 energy more, and you pull that up, and there's even more coming. And then you say, like, ooh, here's what I need on my dice, pickaxes. And here's some symbols that are going to show up on the board as we go, and you look in the glossary of your rule book and you'll find out what those are. And the final one, you pay 1 more energy, and then you say, oh, now see, landing was no danger. Once you get to the planet, danger. And it's warning you kind of what you might want to alleviate some of that danger. You want shields and compasses. So that is this planetary scanner. Oh, this is supposed to go with the... There's too much stuff. There, okay. That's going to go here. Now, these are really little, and some people complain they're too little. Then they made big ones, and then people said they were too big. So you can make them your own size. They're online. You can size it yourself and print it on your printer. Each planet you go to, you write down the name of the planet, and you write down different things about the planet, because this game is brilliant. It's got different sectors that are on the planet you're investigating, and you put down what happened on each sector, what card number is there. If you come back to the planet, which you can, it doesn't start you off fresh. If you blew something up, it's blown up when you come back. So very nice that they have this to remind you of what you did on that planet. So here, more little stuff, and then gather this. Oh, a little bit taller than those little cards. Remember the little cards? There's more little cards. Now you got little dividers that are a little bit taller to help you keep track of where all your little cards are. So here's going to be some events, and here's going to be some rank ups, and there might be other stuff in there. We'll talk about that later. This is the tutorial deck little cards. We have the standard cards, and these are the little ones. It says, this is the back of the tutorial. Okay, are we doing those? This, they put it in plastic as a bookmark. And when you, I don't know, should I actually open something? No. Okay, later we will do the bookmark. Let's look at the final things. We're going to have global conditions. We're going to have missions. Here's missions. We're going to look at all this later. We're going to have situations, research projects that we can accomplish. We're going to have cards that you haven't seen size of yet. These are square cards. These are equipment cards. They're square. dividers for your equipment cards and for something else, which we don't know what it is, but you will find out later. And some more divider pages. And the last thing in this, to end it, these are sleeves for your characters, and we'll go through how that works. As your character gets experienced, they can rank up, and this lets them have the number of stripes, just like in the real life. Yeah, look at someone like, ooh, they got a lot of stripes on their shoulder. That they've been through stuff. You get to do that in this game too. And look, I don't know if I'm going to save that. Protecting it from moisture. On the side of the box tells you how to put everything back, and I'm not going to do that on camera. But I'm going to put it back, but we're going to have more later. And at the end, let's do one more thing. Let's have one more guy end this for you. Gia. And in my stories, I called her G's. Her last name starts with an S, so it's J-S and G's. So I made nicknames for some of my characters, and you can see if you can find her on here someplace. There she is. I put the picture in the same corner. So we'll continue this another time. We get push stop because we're done with this box. Thank you. It's been Len Lindsay.